Hey, Jeannie Lynch coming to you today. So excited to share my emotional set point process with you right here and on YouTube. So if you're wondering how happy you are, wondering how conscious you are, wondering, how fast you can manifest, and aren't you curious if you're blocking it for yourself? You truly do that with how you're feeling. We're going to go through a whole process today that's going to allow you to uncover that for yourself. It's a quick sample of some deeper work, so grab a piece of paper, grab a pencil. You might even need a small calculator because we're going to do some simple math to uncover this for yourself. Are you excited? I'm excited to share it with you. Let's get right to work. Okay, so we're diving into work today and we're talking about the emotional set point. Perhaps you've heard that in the whole energy of the law of attraction. And we're looking to uncover, well, maybe even gauge how happy you are and how conscious you are, and maybe even how fast you can manifest. And wouldn't it be neat to know those things that are blocking us? Well, I'm going to take you through a process today and I'm excited to share it with you. So here's what you're going to need to do this process with me through YouTube. Go get a piece of paper. If you have to pause the video, it's okay. You're going to need a piece of paper and a pen, and have the paper be wide enough so that you can put 4 columns to the top, and then maybe even grab a calculator. I'll explain more when you come back. Okay? Pause it if you have to. You'll need those to do this process. Okay, I'm assuming you're back and you have what you need. Let me set this up for you. The 12 universal laws, let me show those to you real quick. When I look at the slide, if you read each one of them, and of course the law of attraction is in there, I can't help but think that they actually are all the law of attraction. They're just written in different ways. They all typically feed off each other, and they all kind of mean the same things, right? That we are responsible, that everyone is energy, that the oneness, polarity, right? You look at some of the words next to me in that slide and you'll see, well, the law of attraction is just one of them, but a lot of what we're doing today ties into all the universal laws. Again, sounds like the law of attraction to me. So here's what we're going to do. Take that beautiful piece of paper that you have in front of you and write down 4 words at the top, columns. Are you ready? One of them is always. The next one is the word often, sometimes, and the last one is rarely, never. So on your piece of paper, write the 4 words, always, often, sometimes, and rarely, never. And those are going to be the columns, okay? Are you ready to go? Let's dive in today and do the work and find out where you fall on the conscious scale and find out what's blocking you. Are you ready? All I'm going to do is flash a word in front of you. There's only 20 words, and you're going to not take a lot of time, but if you need to pause the video to be a little bit more mindful, or if I go too fast, that's fine. To do this video, and so it's not a 9-hour video, I'm going to show you the word. It's going to show up on the screen, and there's going to be a number associated with it. And all you have to do is put this feeling, this word, in the category where you think it falls. And here's the deal. How you're feeling today overall in your life, okay? So don't overthink it. Literally, we'll do one and I'll give you an example, okay? So today, the word that I want you to be associated with is fear. Fear. How do you feel fear? Do you feel it always, often, sometimes, or rarely, never? So take the word fear, and the number is 9, and put it down on the column that it needs to go in. This will speed up as you get used to doing this, okay? Let's keep going. Take a second and do that. The next word is anger. I'm feeling angry. How often do you feel angry? Always, often, sometimes, or rarely, never. The number is 7. I think you're getting the hang of it. Let's keep going. The next feeling is worry. The feeling is worry. The number is 7. Impatience. Impatience. Always, often, sometimes, rarely, never. The number is 6. Doubt. The feeling of doubt. Doubting yourself, doubting others, in the energy of doubt, and the number is 6. The feeling is irritation. The number is 5. The feeling is boredom. The feeling is boredom. Always, often, sometimes, rarely, never. Feeling boredom. The number is 5. The feeling is grief. The number is 10. And grief doesn't just have to be about losing somebody. It could be the loss of a job. It could be the loss of a relationship, right? So grief as a feeling. Always, often, sometimes, rarely, never. Let's move on. The feeling is insecurity. Insecurity. And the number is 9. Contentment. Contentment. Do you feel content? The number is 4. The feeling is belief. The number is 4. So you should be writing down where these fall, always, often, sometimes, rarely, never, and absolutely putting the numbers next to them. So don't panic if you forget to put the numbers down. I'm going to show a slide that gives all the numbers at the end, okay? So let's keep going. The feeling is the belief. The feeling is expectation. That trips people up. Are you somebody who expects and has an expectation tied to everything? When you're manifesting, expectation's a really important word, but the weight that you put on the word can cause some things, right? So a whole discussion on that. So the feeling is expectation, and the number is 3. Moving on. The feeling is powerlessness. Powerlessness. Out of power. No power. Powerlessness. And the number is 10. The feeling is revenge, and the number is, wow, I'm getting blind here in the dark. The number is 8. The feeling is revenge. Almost done. The feeling is love, and the number is 2. Do you always, often, sometimes, or rarely, never feel love? The feeling is freedom. The feeling of freedom, and the number is 1. The feeling is joy. The number is 1. The feeling is eagerness, and the number is 3. How often do you feel eager? Always, often, sometimes, or rarely, never. 2 more. The feeling is enthusiasm. The feeling of enthusiasm. And the number is 2. And then the last one, the feeling is jealousy. And the number is 8. Okay, so take a second. I'm going to put up a beautiful slide. There you go. I'll keep talking through it. If you look down at your numbers and you're missing numbers, take a look at the beautiful slide and you can put the number associated with the feeling. I'm just going to keep talking as you're looking. Where we should be right now at the end of the process and doing this beautiful emotional set point game, I call it the game of life revisited, is you should have 4 columns with always, often, sometimes, and rarely, never. I've just listed off 20 words. You've put the 20 words in the right category where they fall based on how you're feeling today, and on each word has a number next to it. Okay, so come back to me now. Okay, so that's basically the first aspect of this. We're going to move on and we're going to do more with this work today. Are you up for it? This is a great process for you. And you can come back to this process, by the way. Don't feel like today, like, you know, I scored a certain score and then move on. You can save this as your favorites and come back. Maybe you have conflict and you want to know the resolve for it. This process can work towards specific situations. Okay, so let's move on. So the next thing I want you to do is look down at your sheet. On the last 2 categories, right, the one to the farthest on your right is rarely, never. I want you to identify the numbers that are low. And a low number to me is 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. If there are 5 in the rarely, never, you're good to go, okay? So identify 3 low numbers in there. I'm looking for 1s, 2s, and 3s. And 4s, excuse me. And if there are none in that last category, we'll just move over 1, go to the sometimes and find 3. We're only looking for 3 out of those 2 piles. So if there's 20 cards and they're all under 4, pick 3, okay? I'm looking for the lowest numbers to be the most important. So 1s, 2s, and 3s, okay? Circle those 3 in those little columns and just put them aside for a second. We are done with the sometimes and the rarely, never pile. We're going to move over now to the third aspect of this. And this is where you need a little math. And don't worry, I'm going to put the instructions up on the slides as I'm talking. Stay with me. We're looking at the always and the often pile, okay? Add each column up. So if you have 10 words in always, then you have 10. And if you have 15 cards in often, then you have 15. Okay, so just get a total for each one of the columns on the always and the often. That's easy. And then the last thing I want you to do is add them all up, right? So if the numbers are 2, 10, 5, 6, 4, just go down through. If you need your calculator, pause the video and add them up. Most of you, I'm sure it won't take you long. There's only a couple cards in each, right? So just get a total from each one. Okay, great. I'll give you a second to do that. Okay, so using the always and the often pile, you have those 2 categories, add them together, and then divide them by the total number of all those in the category, right? So you're just doing simple math. You're adding up all the cards and you're dividing them by how many cards. Now you did it, that's great. What we're doing is we're finding an average. Isn't that cool? That is the average set point. Now I'm going to show you the beautiful scale and you're going to actually be able to see where you fall on this beautiful scale. Are you ready? There it is. Okay. So here's this beautiful alpha graph from the work of David Hawkins and the emotional set point scale, okay? And you can literally see where your score is based on the always often category, right? Okay. And you see you've fallen at 4.2, 2 point high. I'm going to show you another slide that shows you where you fall on the range, whether you're at a high range, a mid range, or a low range. And don't beat yourself up. I mean, the whole reason we're doing work together today is to get you to the highest vibration that you can be, okay? And no matter where you are, even if you're the highest high, and I've worked with many people that are high and I've worked with many people that are low, we always can identify and be better even when we're at the highest vibration. Do you agree? Okay. So looking back to that list now, you've just seen your set point. You gauged it to the graph that I've showed you. Now we're looking for those things to work on, okay? So going back to the always often pile, before we are done our work today, we're almost done. You've circled the 3 lowest numbers in the sometimes and the rarely pile, right? I want you to find 3 more, but the numbers should be high numbers, right? So we're doing it in reverse. If you look through the always and the often pile, do you see numbers that are higher than 5? Look for the highest values, the 10s, the 8s, the 7, and the 6s, and only find 3. And make them be the highest number, right? I want you to do your work today. Okay, take a second and do that. Okay, we're almost done. How cool, right? I want you to say this with me 3 times. It's very simple. And it means a lot that you say it out loud. Are you ready? Say, the antidote is in the polarity. Say it again. The antidote is in the polarity. And say it one more time and make sure you're saying it out loud. The antidote is in the polarity. And you can even write it down. That would be great, because here's what I'm going to teach you today about unblocking yourself. If you look to those 6 words that you should have circled on your page, right? The low numbers on the rarely on this side of the pile and the high numbers on the always often pile, that is your homework. And I can help you if you need me to. You can tell me below what the 6 words are, or you can reach out on email, but you should be able to do this work. The work is find the opposites of those 6 words, because the antidote is in the polarity means just that the cure, if you had a headache right now and you needed medicine, I'd grab an Advil for you. That's the antidote. So the actual cure, or the unblocking, is to go to the opposite energy of the words you have circled. So if you have powerlessness, look up the opposite of that and you'll find out that it's to be in power. And that's where you spend your focus for the next 7 days. You work on affirmations. You work, if you need forgiveness. Do you need to be kinder to yourself? Do you need more joy, right? You can literally uncover the antidote for yourself. And so here's what's cool. I'm going to put up a beautiful slide of all the opposites for you. And those 6 words, just find those words on this beautiful slide. There's the antidote for you. And that's our process today. Isn't that cool? You have uncovered where you fall on the emotional scale for today. Might could change tomorrow, I understand that. And you've also uncovered what words and what feelings are blocking you. And you've also listed and hopefully uncovered what the antidote is to that. So was that a cool process? I hope it was. I hope it worked. And my intention is to help people be the best expression of themselves. This is a shorter version of a longer process, but I did want to make it available for people online to get a sense that they can truly gauge themselves through just getting in touch with the feelings that they're feeling and to write their own antidotes. I just love that. So empowering for me. Let me know if you felt the same way, if you think there's something I could do differently to bring this process through you over YouTube. Always looking to be the best expression myself for you. This is Jeannie Lynch. Thanks again for watching, and thank you and shout out to your universe, who hopefully you're putting this up and this is exactly what you were hoping to get. So thank you again. Namaste.